Hi, I'm Jan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are
East-West
Audio Body Shop. And the answer is... who's our guest this week? Bob Ball. Who's Bob Ball? Of course, he's our sponsor, and he is the host of Pop Quizzical. And he's a voice actor as well, so we're going to talk to him all about Pop Quizzical and his career. So make sure you tune in for that.
Audio watermarks, good or bad? We'll talk about alternatives to using watermarks, which may be a better way to handle that kind of a situation.
And in my tip of the week this week, I'm switching places with my wife. I'm getting a new studio in a closet upstairs. Going to show you week by week how I'm making that change and the trial and error I go through to make that happen.
This is the best learning experience you'll ever see, and we're going to document the whole thing right here on the show. We're going to have a question of the week and also an audio clip of the week from a voice you may recognize.
That's all this Sunday night, 9 o'clock here in the East.
And 6 o'clock in the West.
East-West Audio Body Shop. We'll see you then.
He's the voiceover studio engineer of the Stars in Los Angeles, California, a Virginia Tech grad with a knowledge of recording studios unmatched in his field. He's a voice actor from Buffalo, New York, with 30 years experience in recording studios and behind the mic. He solves people's home voiceover studio problems in the blink of an eye. Together, there's no studio problem they can't solve, and they'll do it for you tonight. Welcome to East-West Audio Body Shop. Now, live from a basement in Buffalo and an office in L.A., here are Dan Leonard and George Whittam.
Good evening. I'm Jan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop.
Ta-da!
See, I was talking right to you. You didn't even notice that.
Aw.
Well, I guess there's only one way to describe this show. It's a party every Sunday night, a virtual party.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at all the people that are here already. 25 people. There's a ton of people in the chat room. We are so glad to have you with us tonight.
That is
always
a ton
pleasure
for us.
What's that?
I said that is a ton of people for us.
It is.
In the chat room, live, interacting.
Yeah, I know. They're not.
Cool.
They're not even watching us. They're all blah blah blah. Hey, Ed, how are you?
Yeah,
hi, Pat.
Yeah, by the way,
Susan, what's happening?
That's great, though. That's what we want.
That's right. We know you're there, and occasionally you watch and listen to what we're talking about, and occasionally we actually know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but we got lots of great stuff tonight, especially our special guest, because this is going to be lots of fun. Our guest is going to be Bob Ball, the host of Pop Quizzical. Maybe you've seen the ads here on East-West Audio Body Shop about Pop Quizzical, and it's a great little show, and it's great to tune in and go, I can get that. Oh, I know this. No, he threw a hard one in there. It's a hard little quiz, but Bob's going to come on, and we're going to play Pop Quizzical with him.
Yeah, the way he does it, it's just fun. It's like something. It's just a nice little breath of fresh air. Diversion from all the serious stuff you hear on the news and sad stories like that Aurora, Colorado shooting.
Jeez.
I mean, we need diversions, don't we? So
yeah, we do.
We need. It's sad, and our hearts go out for everybody involved with that. I mean, I can't even begin to fathom what it would be like to be in that room when that happened.
Yeah, I know, and I know you're sensitive to that because of what happened at the university at Virginia Tech too. So, sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up, but
no, I had intended to bring it up because I just, we don't bring up a lot of pop news or breaking news stories and stuff, but it's entertainment business and it's something that everybody is talking about right now. So I just wanted to, give a shout out to everybody, and our hearts go out to you, and it may never happen again.
I hope not.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's get on with voiceover stuff.
Yes, sir.
Boy, a lot of people talking about, the Studio Bricks thing last week. A lot of people asking about that. And, lots of other interesting things going on. A couple of interesting letters this week. What the problems you guys come up with.
I know.
It's just unbelievable.
But hey, that's why I like doing what I do for a living. I mean, it's just the variety it's just all over the place, and yeah, some of it's repetitive, admittedly, some of the stuff it's like, one of this again, but sometimes there's just a little, difference, a little something different that you just didn't think about. And watch this, everybody. Something magical is about to happen.
What?
Ding! I flipped my picture.
Oh, he figured it out.
Yeah, now I'm I flipped it mirror. So now you're seeing a reversed version of me. So which one of me is more attractive? Tell me if it's the old version or the new version. What do you think? Anyway, sorry. What were we talking about?
We were talking about stuff.
Oh,
the stuff that people toss us. Like, is there some problem that we get that's like, it's like, well, it should be this. Oh, it's not that. All right, try this. No, try that. That's still not working. And then of course it turns out, well, he's using Pro Tools in a PC, and I'm like, well, no wonder I can't figure it out.
I try to get those details out of the way at the beginning, but it's amazing how you go down that checklist and find out it's not that. Oh, it's not that. And then, then you have to actually start thinking. Like, oh, it's not that or that or that or that? Really? Are you sure?
Fortunately, there's not like, there's a lot of different equipment, but the algorithms to what's what and the troubleshooting checklist is all pretty much the same. And eventually you're going to hit on the right thing.
Right.
And unless it's, some ASIO driver or something like that, in which case it's like, well, you're the one that wanted to have those. So
yeah, things get really interesting when you start bringing, use that ASIO for all driver, that thing made by some other company you've never heard of that kind of works and has some support, but No, thank you.
Yeah, really.
No, thank you.
Anyway, but we're glad you're here because as we said, we have Bob Ball with us tonight. I've got a great little feature on Tip of the Week this week. It's been a fascinating weekend around here. Mm-hmm. It's amazed me how much I got done, actually, but we'll get into that in a little while. We've got our letter of the week. We've got some audio of the week, as you were talking about. And you were going to lead off the conversation about the dreaded watermarks.
Yes, sir. I certainly was. Yeah, it's the watermark topic. I try to come up with something that is actively being talked about right now, and that's definitely one of them. It's popped up in one of the forums, one of the Facebook groups. I can't remember which one. How many Facebook groups are there now for voiceover?
20 billion.
I don't know. At least 15 or 20. I'm a member of like 4 or 5, and the most important one of all is the EWABS group on Facebook. So if you're not in that group, get in there. And if you want to know what's going on, that's the place to be. Anywho, so the topic did come up. Should I start using watermarks? And so what's a watermark? Basically anything that you can add to the audio to mix in with your voice that makes the recording that you've just completed, renders it unusable for final product. So it could be a beep. It could be this voiceover provided by the services of George Whittam. Some little thing that, just plays on a loop, and it is certainly effective. I mean, once you put that in the file, it ruins the file. Okay. But many people think that it can also ruin your chances of getting that gig as well, because it's really distracting. And so first of all, it's distracting. So as soon as that sound, okay, let's assume they even make it that far, because a lot of times the audition isn't heard for more than 10 seconds. But if they do listen beyond that and they get to that watermark, then all they're going to think about is that annoying watermark. That's what's now in their head, right? Then they started thinking, a watermark? Really? So they don't trust us. They think I'm going to steal this file. So they don't trust me. So now you've created this we don't trust you thing. I don't trust who my clients are. I don't trust the people in my network or those who I'm trying to get work from. And you've already distracted them now. So basically you've turned them off. Now, why watermark again? So why would you want to make your file rendered useless for a final release? Well, the fear is that your files might be stolen, or you might submit an audition and that audition ends up going to the final release, going to air or to the web or whatever the format is. So that's the whole reason why people have been doing this. But at the end of the day, how often do you think your work will actually get stolen from you and used? Now, this is something where Dan can definitely come in and throw in his 2 cents for sure. Because, how often, do you have any clue, Dan, first of all, do you have any clue if your work's ever been stolen? And if you do, how did you find out and what happened?
Well, it's only happened to me once. believe it or not. And it
That
was
you know of.
Well, no, I check on these things. I mean, that's the most important thing you can do.
But how do you check on them?
How do you check on them? Well, you remember what the script is,
right?
And I doubt that anyone would ever steal a voice for an on-air commercial. The risk of being caught is astronomical, and being sued is pretty high.
Right.
In
other words, you're not doing a lot of on-air stuff, so it's a little easier to track it down.
That's right. There's watermarking, and then there's just not giving them enough for them to use.
Right. You can tell them a little more about ideas on alternatives to watermarks. What are some ways to still, make the file not annoying to listen to, but not be usable? What are some ideas?
Well, my files are never annoying to listen to, but at least I hope
the watermark. No noises, no beeps, no that stuff.
I've never watermarked. It happened, like I said, it happened once. Some guy in China, some Dutch guy who was in China. Don't ask. Anyway, I checked the website and I'm like, hey, he's using my voice. And I'm like, you don't do that. That was the only time that I know of. With e-learning, which I do a tremendous amount of, you're only doing, you're not going to do the entire thing because that's going to be, 15, 20 pages. So I don't worry about that. I'm going to give my best read and they're going to go, well, this is the guy we want. Which is pretty simple. If it's for, a documentary, I mean, the only thing they could really steal you for is for some short web commercial or something along those lines. And I'm sure that happens, but you're not talking thousands and thousands of dollars in lost revenue from something like that. I think it's important to just trust people and to know that, I learn to trust my clients. I usually learn when it's somebody not worth trusting, and usually you can tell that just by the way they write their copy, the way they communicate with you. It's just general good business sense. But instead of watermarking, just don't give them enough that they can completely use. Don't do the entire script. If it's like, read this entire script for audition. Well, no. I'm not going to do that, and generally I'm not even going to audition if they're going to say do the entire thing.
Yeah.
So I generally will just give them a paragraph, show them how I will do something. Sometimes I will do something out of sequence. If you've got remember you want to be different. So here's a little tip with auditioning. When you audition, say you've got they give you a script with say a couple of slides to some presentation or something. Start with the third, because everybody else is going to be reading it from the top. Don't read it from the top. Hey, this guy's different, and that's going to get their attention. So, but then again, they don't have the first part, so they can't use it. So you don't have to even bother with watermarking. So all that makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I mean, I had to go off headphones for a second while my wife told me that the cat caught a mouse in the living room, which she's been doing a lot lately. But did you mention the idea of changing a key word or even the product name in the script?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can go and product name,
Right.
As Mark Cashman always likes to say, the script is never in stone, especially in an audition. So if you feel you can change something a little bit, go ahead and do it. It's almost like a watermark, but deliberately put some sound in there saying, I don't trust you, so I'm putting this in here, is kind of lame, actually, if you ask me.
I think about it and I go, well, also saying, and your product name here is saying is kind of conveying the same message, right? So it's a delicate, maybe there's a delicate line there. Because
agree.
how is that different? Like if you change the product name, maybe that's too strong. Maybe they really want to hear your voice on their product name. So maybe you just drop a couple of keywords like prepositions, things that just kind of ruin the flow a little bit.
Absolutely.
I mean, would you try that? I don't know.
Again, it's one of those things. You see a script, if somebody knows what on earth they're talking about, if they know what they're doing, if they're professional or not. If you're a professional, you want to work with professionals. If people misspell a lot, if they speak if they write like they're from some third world country, it's like, this guy doesn't know what they're doing. And and I generally will avoid it. I probably toss off more auditions than I even do. Mostly because of that. I only want to work for people that are worth working for, and have good sized budgets and want to work with a professional. And that's our job as professionals, is to seek out other professionals. Right. How many of you agree with that out there in the chat room?
I think everybody could agree with that one.
All right.
So yeah, well, your mileage may vary, but I would avoid the annoying noises that you can dub in. Plus, it's a lot of extra work.
It is.
You can't use well, I think you can do it with Twisted Wave because you can paste in and have it paste and mix or something. But still, it's a lot more work and it just may not be worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Of course, I have a natural watermark I can put in. It's like, if my son's bird, Conrad, suddenly starts getting very chatty. I'm like, yeah, Jake, bring Conrad in here. Put the bird on my shoulder. And I'm like, okay. And now, it's worse than a watermark. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We've got a lot more coming up here, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Let's take a break and we can restart Skype again so I can get your picture to be in time with your voice again.
Isn't this a Japanese movie?
It looks like it is right now. Oh man. Like I said in the chat room, I haven't prayed to the Skype gods this month. Or no, did a sacrifice to the Skype gods. So it's being a little funky. So we will take a break. We'll restart Skype and what are we going to do next?
We have our tip of the week and a few announcements and other stuff. So
you got it.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Over Xtra, the voiceover industry's online news, education, and resource center 24/7. Hundreds, probably thousands of free how-to articles for voiceover success, ranging from home studio to voice acting to business. A free voiceover industry directory, calendar of industry events, resource links, a store, and much more. Bi-monthly webinars on all topics of voiceover, free subscriptions to newsletters, reports, announcements, daily news, and features at voiceoverextra.com.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Now back to two characters that didn't have anything else better to do. Dan and George.
Yes, we're back.
Except catch a mouse, apparently.
Yes, apparently. But that's why I don't have a cat.
It's a catch-22, right? They catch mice, but the thing is they like to catch mice.
And present it to you.
I mean, that's like the best thing a mouse can do to show its loyalty and its its reverence towards your care for him. In your kingdom. He brings mouse, but he has to play with it for a while first, and that's apparently what he's doing.
Yes,
he's caught quite a few of them lately.
Yeah. Oh, I should tell the story about how the dog I used to have caught a frozen squirrel. You don't catch a frozen squirrel. You pick up a frozen squirrel and would not let it out. It's a long story.
Yeah, that sounds
I'll save it for another night.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of people have heard that one. But anyway, I think it's important that we mention something that's coming up. If you happen to be in the Southern California, in the Southland, I guess as you guys call it.
Sure.
Big poker tournament coming up.
That's right. It's the Don LaFontaine. It's called the Texas Holdem Poker Classic. Let me bring the graphic up here right on the website so you guys can see what it is we're talking about here. It's the Screen Actors Guild Foundation Texas Holdem Poker Classic. That's going to be on August 11th, 2012. So if you're in town and you're in the area, the location is actually in this really unique building / grounds that are within the original farmers market off of Fairfax. It's a really cool location. And you got to come check it out if you're going to be in town. If you have any interest at all in helping to support the lab, this is a fun way to do it. It's not just sending off some money and never seeing it again and hoping it goes to a good cause. Well, in this case, it does go to a good cause, and it's a fun activity to do. So if you're interested and you are in the area, you can go visit sagfoundation.org, and there is a link on the top of the page for the Texas Holdem Poker Tournament. And I will post it here in the show notes as well as they're in the chat room now. But if you guys have any interest in that whatsoever, come check it out. It's sponsored by tequila? There's always a liquor sponsor, but hey, you know what? They're good for that.
Patron. Oh, good stuff.
Patron, Mark Grau, Voiceover Studios. We got to have Mark on the show one of these days.
Man, he knows everybody.
He knows everybody, and he's like a really great, he's just a funny dude. So he'll be on one of these days.
Give our producer Kathy a call.
That's right. SBV talent agent here. Entertainment Tonight sponsoring it. Atlas talent agency, or Atlas, I'm sorry, talent agency. VoiceHunter.com and Integrated Wealth Management. So come check it out. I'll be there, hanging out. I don't play poker, but I'll probably just wandering around, taking pictures and videos. And I hope you can make it. That's August 11th.
You going to try and simulcast it this year?
We'll see. I don't know. I think there might be coverage being presented there by VO Buzz Weekly this year.
Okay.
I know Stacy's going to be there, and Chuck are both going to be there. So it may be pretty well covered by them this year. We'll have to see. But I'll be there to support in any way I can help. And I think John Taylor might be making it out there too.
Oh, well, that'll be great. Then of course we have to have him on the show if he's out that way.
Oh, totally. I gotta bug him about that.
Yeah, we miss John.
We do.
Well, it's time to move on to the tip of the week, and this is going to be a series because this is going to take a little while.
Exactly.
Although not as long as I thought. I mean, when you consider where I was on Thursday and where I am tonight, it's actually like, wow, I really moved along on this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway. Let's roll the beautiful bean footage, and we'll discuss afterwards.
Well, we're going to be saying so long to the Black Hole of Calcutta. I've got to come up with a new studio situation, and my wife and I think we've found a good solution to that. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you how to really make a new, simple home studio. Okay, step number one is trying to find the right place. And I have found the perfect place here in my home. A closet. All right, so we got to clear all these shelves off. California closet shelves. A blessing and a curse. Alright, so this closet is 4 by 3. It's not huge, but there's enough room for me to move around. There's enough room for me to do any acting and that sort of thing. So we'll use it. Plus, I have a nice office in here that will now become my office. And to make it even better, I have just the material to dampen the sound in here. And then eventually we'll work on some soundproofing techniques
and will also work on a ventilation system. Otherwise, I'll suffocate in my own CO2 in here. Don't want that. One of the issues we're going to have to deal with is power. There was a light in here, but there was no outlet. And that's probably going to be a problem in most closets. So how do you deal with that? What I did is I took the box that was where the light was and ran a cable from there into a conduit, which will now go down here and to an outlet box, which will be right there. Of course, if you've ever run conduit, you know it's a complete pain in the ass. How do you get this stuff in there? And then sometimes you just got to take a break. Pick some blueberries. Look at these. All right, now the next thing, well, you can hear that it's, there's quite a bit of a weird echo in this place. Special stuff.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Yeah, this stuff works.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Now out into the room you hear that. But into a corner here, test 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 3 4. Not bad. All right, next up on the agenda here is we've got to find a way to dampen the ceiling a little bit because it's a little boomy in here, but not too bad. Simple answer. Orlex cubes and tack. Test 1 2 3 4. That pretty much gets rid of that problem. All right, so let's check and see what this thing sounds like using my my Epigee mic here. Just to test the sound out in here, let's give it some silence. Test 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 3 4. Test 1 2 3 4. Okay, it's getting a little warm in here too, so perhaps we need to think about perhaps some ventilation. Ventilation is a little harder than you might think. Got to do a little bit of research and find out exactly how to do it for your specific room. But that's how we did the opening part of this, looking at the acoustics and just finding the right room. And that's my tip for the week. If only you knew.
It looked pretty funny. I could see the camera. I've been on the other side of that where you're filming something, and you're laughing, but you can't make it. You're trying to be quiet, but you can't hold the camera still.
I know. Well, Marcy's always laughing at me anyway. So
right.
what's the big deal? But I'm dragging this thing in. Now you're all wondering what that big cloth thing is that's in there. I would usually say find a big heavy quilt, or as the Europeans say, a duvet. Mm-hmm. And but what I've got is this stuff that I mentioned before. I have a friend who has this Army-Navy surplus store, and he's got these big rolls of Quonset hut insulation. It's fiberglass insulation between high-quality muslin. And these things are huge. This thing is like, a 50-foot roll. And I've been cutting it out in sections. I actually had this out on the front lawn the other day, and I cut it out. I measured, because it's 4x3 with 10 inches, between the door. And of course I measured wrong, but
measure twice, cut once.
Cut once. Yeah. Well, fortunately, if I want to make it small, I can always cut it again. It's just cloth and fiberglass.
How did you cut it actually?
With the scissors.
Just really monster scissors?
No, just a regular shears. It was no problem at all. Okay. And then we have a sewing machine. I'm figuring I could sew it, or I can just take a staple gun and I staple the whole thing up. And anyway, I hung it up in there, and as you can hear, it dead in that closet really, really nice,
man.
very, very quickly. And it's, without even sealing up the room, it's fairly soundproof. Now, yeah, plane goes over, somebody's cutting the grass, but when the air conditioning goes on, you can't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So the air conditioning in the furnace will forever be on in the Leonard household, which takes away my favorite line about, making money and saving money at the same time.
Yeah, right.
So, but
it
anyway,
has to be comfortable.
It is. And it's, and now the next thing is the ventilation, and that's going to be an adventure in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I got part of it installed, but there's a lot of trial and error involved in this. Now, what's the key? What were some of the things that I was doing in there? I was turning, I was checking to see how the sound bounced around in there, and I was using my ears. I was listening how you've got to be able to understand what a deep bass reflex sound is and how to avoid that. And because I've got this flexible stuff, I can, if I need to reduce the bass, I can roll up the bottom of it a little bit so that it's, the edge of the bottom of the floor is actually covered by this stuff. Mm-hmm. Or you could actually cover the entire thing with Oralex, mm-hmm. Or moving blankets or something along these lines. I just happen to have this stuff. I can get it for you if you want it. I'll custom cut it for you. Gee, I sound like a sailmaker now.
I have a few tips based off what you did in the video, which was a really good primer. Just for attaching the foam. So you have that spray foam stuff. That spray glue is horrible. Like, it's just the most horrible smell.
Don't get it on the rug.
And it's messy. It's messy. It's impossible to clean up. And then if you don't use it quite right, it ends up not even sticking well enough and everything falls down again, right? So it's not the most fun stuff to deal with. But another way, if you're going to use foam in a closet, I don't recommend only foam because just an inch thick or 2 inch thick Oralex by itself is generally not enough to deal with the low frequencies. You will end up having low frequencies bouncing around in there. So you need much thicker or denser material as well, which is what Dan was putting in there. But you can, what I've done for other clients is I'll get those studio foam squares. They're like foot square. And then I actually take the box that they came in, cut the box up, and then outside the house, I do all the gluing. And I use a lot of glue, spray down the cardboard, saturate it pretty hard, spray all the backs of the foam, let everything set up, and then, for about 30 seconds, then stick it on, and it sticks really firmly then. But at least all the stink and all the overspray is outside the house. Then you just bring in that sheet of cardboard and, drive a couple screws or staple gun or whatever, and it's done, So that's...
You mean you don't like the fumes?
Maybe once a year it's okay, but if you're doing it a lot, it's not very fun.
That's true. You do that a bit more often than I do.
Maybe once a week, I think so. That's a way to get around the fume problem. I had another tip, but right now it's flown right out of the back of my head. So it'll come up later. But that's a good way to deal with that.
Yeah. But I was able to get that closet in order in like 2-3 days, mm-hmm. And that's with picking blueberries and dealing with the family and, getting dirty looks and getting laughs and stuff like that. And like, hey, Jake, come here, grab the iPhone so you can video this for me.
Exactly.
We have fun at our house. What can I say?
I'm glad. Make it fun. If you're going to have to do work for the show, at least have the family involved and have fun.
That's right. No cats and no mice. So.
Right.
Anyway, let's get on with more fun in just a couple of minutes. We've got a great guest coming up, Bob Ball, who's one of our great sponsors here on East West Audio Body Shop. And time for a little pop quizzical. So stay right where you are, and we'll be right back here on East West Audio Body Shop.
ElDorado Recording Services.
Randy Thomas chiming in.
This is Alex Verdi.
Hi, this is Bill Ratner in Los Angeles.
Hi, this is Scott Rummel here in Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, my name is Rick Wasserman.
Hi, this is Tom Kane.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Marshall.
Hi, my name is Zurich.
Hi, I'm Mary McKittrick.
Hi, I'm Peter McHugh.
I was turned on to George by none other than Don LaFontaine, who always swore by his health.
George is absolutely awesome.
ISDN, Source Connect, Phone Patch, FTP, you name it, George has set it up.
It's really the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel
free, safe, fearless, like anything is possible in here.
Unless you like to look for opportunities to waste time, call George.
And he did all of that, long distance over the phone and the internet.
I'm very happy with George, and I cherish
I've got my travel kit, I got my Source Connect, I've got it all going on, thanks to you.
Thanks, George. You make it easy.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Two guys I love spending Sunday nights with.
You know, what? Hello. All right. One little technical glitch. We're getting better. People don't realize that, if you look at our logo, I'm actually in the West and you're in the East.
That's right.
Some people notice that or like, and your point?
I know. I mean, when we got the logo finished, I was like, oh. Well, it just happened to be the way that we were facing in the two images, so whatever.
That's right. Well, it says East, so, so you're looking at it from the North.
It's just to make sure you're paying attention.
That's right.
Who's sitting next to you in the other window?
I'm sorry, this way. That's our guest.
No,
Bob?
the other way, actually.
Is it that way? No, it's that way. Bob? Oh, Bob?
Oh, hi, Bob. Yeah, I can't talk to you, Bob. Bye. Oh, hi, everybody. Hi.
Oh, hi. Our guest this evening, the host of Pop Quizzical, Bob Ball. Welcome to East West Audio Body Shop.
Thank you. And I would like to welcome everybody else to a little slice of the internet's favorite quiz show, Pop Quizzical. Tonight, we have a little mini quiz. We're going to talk about some voiceover, and we're going to talk about more. Tonight, Zeppelin, welcome the people in.
Oh, greetings ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zeppelin, and I want to welcome you to Pop Quizzical, a bi-weekly Q&A on topics you want to know more about, or maybe that you should have paid more attention to in school. Not only will today's topic make you sound smarter at your next dinner party, but could even save your life. Well, maybe if you're in a street fight with the game show host. And now, your host for Pop Quizzical and swell guy, Mr. Bob Ball.
Thank you, Zeppelin, and welcome to Pop Quizzical. I am your host and swell guy, Bob Ball. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about voiceover because, well, frankly, that's who's listening tonight is to the voiceover stuff. So
and watching, too.
And watching. So, Dan, George, are you ready to put your mental faculties to the test?
I am
Where's
ready.
Where's my buzzer? Okay, I'm ready.
I already got your buzzer, Dan.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's start off with question 1. Now, we all know that video games are huge. Maybe not for all of us playing them, but sometimes for some of us acting in them. The largest voice cast of a multi-person online game is which one of these? Is it A, World of Warcraft? Is it B, DC Universe Online? Or is it C, The Sims? Think that over and come back.
Oh, got to go back. Oh, it's okay. No,
Question 2.
Do I have to write it down?
Yeah, you got to write down your answer.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just want to wipe
Jot that down.
Okay.
Can
Can I have the choices again, please?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a full service here.
I
is
see.
It
okay.
A, World of Warcraft? Is it B, DC Universe Online? Or is it C, The Sims?
Okay.
Which one of those do you think has the most voice actors in it?
Okay, I got mine written down.
Okay.
I do too. Move on.
Question 2, much easier, only 2 choices. Now, there are guys that you just seem to hear everywhere. One of them is Nolan North. The other is Stephen Bloom. Which one of those 2 guys has been in more video games? Is it Nolan North or Stephen Bloom?
Okay, got my answer down.
Me too.
Excellent. Last question for voiceover, question 3. We all know that voiceover is big in everything, but what is the largest entertainment voiceover project ever? Well, at least to date.
To date?
Do you think it's A, a video game? Do you think it's B, a movie? Or do you think it's C, a fully produced audiobook?
Ooh, we threw in the audiobook.
So
I
what's
know
been
that.
the
I know the
largest
answer to that
voiceover
one.
project? At least entertainment-wise. Is it a video game? Is it a movie? Is it an audiobook?
I know the answer to that one.
Okay. Oh, you do.
I don't. I'm totally guessing.
We'll just see, because I have a paper with some
I
answers on
totally
it.
guessed on all three of them.
I only guessed on one, so I may be
Okay.
wrong on the other two, but who knows?
So let's check our answers for these three, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about other non-voiceover stuff.
Okay.
So question 1, largest voiceover cast for a multi-person online game. You think it was A, World of Warcraft? Was it B, DC Universe Online? Or was it C, The Sims?
I always go with the oddball out because we know Warcraft is big, and we know Sims has a lot of different things, but I went with B.
So
DC.
did I, for the same reason.
So was it a guess from either one of you, or did you really feel in your gut that you knew?
It was a guess.
Well, it was an educated guess.
Well, you both guessed right.
Yes!
Because it's
Wow.
DC Universe Online. 236 voice actors in this.
Whoa.
Whoa, not two. Is it 236 voice actors or 236 voices?
236 voice actors.
Holy
Wow.
smokes.
They've got the world record.
Man. And they're
And
probably
anybody-
The most number of paychecks for one voiceover gig.
That's
Anybody in the
incredible.
room get the do work on that one?
Wow. And yeah, anybody get the answer right? I don't know. I think a lot of people guessed that wrong. Because I was looking at the answers coming in, I was seeing a lot of Warcraft and a lot of Sims. I was going to say
Come on,
Sims.
I gave you a throwaway on the Sims. All they do is go.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, exactly.
None of those people probably even got paid. They just walked to people out in the street. Hey, why don't you just go?
Yeah. Well, so it's 236 voice actors, and then many of those are doing what? At least 3 or 4 voices?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Wow.
mind-blowing.
Well, because you've got all the heroes, but you've also got the villains. You've also got everybody who's in the street going, "Ah!"
Right, all the Foley, all the
Right.
Foley, all the Walla, all that stuff. Exactly.
So question
Okay.
2. The most prolific actor in video games, at least the male actor. Is it A, Nolan North, or is it B, Stephen Bloom? Dan?
I went with Stephen Bloom.
I didn't know either name. I honestly didn't. So there you go. I mean, the world of voiceover and video games is a different world that I'm involved with at this point.
It's a different world, and these guys do so much work. Because Nolan North was in, from 97 to 2011, he was in 107 video games.
Wow.
107. Stephen Bloom was in 261.
Whoa.
Which just proves, if you want a video game job, there is all kinds of work if your name is Stephen Bloom. All kinds.
Oh, man. All right, so I got that one wrong.
I'm 2 for 2.
I got an X on that one.
Well, let's see if you can make it 3 for 3, George. Question 3. The largest entertainment voiceover project ever. You think it was A, a video game? You think it was B, a movie? Or do you think it was C, one of those fully produced audiobooks?
You go first, George.
I went
'cause
with the movie. I went with the film.
Okay. George is going movie?
I think because I did one of these myself. I did an audio Bible, and I found myself in competition with Morgan Freeman and about 20,000 other well-known actors, and I say it was a version of the Bible.
Well, I'll tell you what. The largest entertainment voiceover project, 200,000 lines were recorded for a video game.
Oh, see, I should have known. I should have known.
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
That was my gut. I should have just gone with the gut.
It was the first multi-person online game to have every piece of text recorded that the game had. So if it showed you the text on screen, it had a voice recorded with it.
That's amazing.
100,000 lines.
That's amazing. I mean, video games aren't they outgrossing films? I
Yes.
mean, as in terms of an industry. So I guess that does make sense. There's a budget for it.
And there's room for everybody. In fact, the oldest actor in a video game, you know who that was? Extra bonus question.
Ernest Borgnine.
Christopher Lee.
Oh, Christopher Lee. Yeah, well,
Christopher Lee.
87 years old.
Gee, is he really?
It's been a couple of years ago they did a Kingdom Hearts game.
I can't believe June Foray is not in a video game yet. Then she'll be the oldest.
She's still got time. She's got a lot of life in her. I listened to that audio.
Oh, yeah, she certainly does. She could do it. Maybe
she's got a lot of spunk. I like June.
Yeah,
June, call me.
Thank you. Was that the whole quiz?
Well, that's at least the voiceover part of the quiz.
That was the voiceover part.
Oh, awesome.
Time we got. We're not on a network.
Do you want to do
yet.
another segment, or do you want to ask Bob some more questions before we do the rest of the quiz, Dan?
Well, I mean, we'll get into that in a little bit, but I'm fascinated how you got into how you started Pop Quizzical in the first place. So were you in radio or?
I had done radio for a number of years. Radio was a very bad girlfriend to me.
It can be that way,
as it was probably to a lot of us.
I had many affairs, if that's the case.
Radio wanted me to work long hours for very little pay, and for many years, radio, I did it. And then I got tired of it one day, and I said, "Radio, you're a bad girlfriend. I'm going to break up with you." And I walked away. And several years later, I really realized what I loved about radio was when I worked in college and I worked with the actors. They would come in, we'd do fully produced audio plays. And that was so much fun to make sure that all of the sounds matched up and to actually get the performance you were looking for out of that person. That's what I liked. And then I found out, oh, hey, I could do that. So I got some training, more so than what I had before, because being in radio doesn't overly help you.
Yeah. It takes a while to
it
train
helps
the
you
radio
be an announcer.
Yeah, it takes a while to train the radio out of you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And sometimes I still slip back into it, especially being a single person, just in a single room and being self-directed sometimes.
Self-directed, yeah.
You still slip back into it. Man, I love to be directed. I love it. When I can get somebody on Skype who's willing to say, well, no, that's not what I was looking for. How about doing this? Man, I love that.
Yeah.
I think
What's the majority of the type of work that you do?
It's mostly probably the same way that a lot of other people get it. It's Voice123, it's voices.com. It's doing audition and audition and audition. Sometimes I'll get lucky and it's a friend of a friend who needs this done, or someone I've done stuff for before will hand my name off to somebody else. But a lot of it's just that same audition process.
Yeah. And lots of different variety of stuff, e-learning and commercials. And
I don't do so much e-learning. Most of it's commercial work. So if I do it and I get a check, I never hear that stuff anywhere. My one tip of the week, if you do hear something somewhere, and most people put it up on YouTube or something along with some video, grab that video as soon as you can. As soon as you see it, grab it. Because last week, I went back to go grab some video. I'm like, oh, let me get that so I can put it on a demo. That company's gone out of business. So they took down the YouTube page. Grab the video as soon as you can.
That's actually a good chunk of not a good chunk, but some of my clients will have me rig up something just so they can get audio and sometimes even video right off the TV. We'll do like a wireless transmitter or something that goes from their DVR, and I'll send it to their computer with a little USB video audio capture thing. And so they can just roll back a commercial they were voicing and record it to the computer to put up on YouTube or put it on the reel.
Yeah.
That really helps.
Good idea.
At least super technical. I would just get a TiVo.
Yeah, but you have to get it off the TiVo onto something else, and that's not so easy, is it?
In that regard, there is some software out there that you can... I think TiVo makes some of it. It's more PC related than it is Mac related, but you can just pull over full programs. So as long as you've got it recorded, you can just pull that program over, and then you can tinker around with it.
Sweet.
Find a way to
still have TiVos?
I have a TiVo.
It might be worth getting one just for that purpose.
I don't really watch it, but I have a TiVo. In fact, if you go to there's a place online called weakknees.com.
Yeah.
It is not a commercial for them. I've just seen it a bunch of times. They still sell older TiVos, and there's a TiVo you can buy that I still have one of these that you can put a DVD in.
Yeah.
So you can just burn what program that you have.
Oh, there you go. Once it's on a DVD, then you can do anything you want with it.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
Yeah. So how did you drift into doing this wonderful little show? It's a great little podcast. It's very entertaining. It's like, I think I'll just pop this on for a few minutes and get really frustrated.
Well, hey, I feel the same way about it. A lot of people had heard me do stuff on other people's podcasts. Like there was a video game podcast I did a whole bunch of stuff with, and they said, "Hey, we love your 2 minutes that you do there. We think you should do something else." And I said, "Well, yeah, but I'm not really good at anything but talking somebody else's copy, and that's what I do." And they're like, "Well, I'm sure you got something to talk about." And there are 100,000 podcasts of just two guys talking about something, and that seemed no offense. There's just something that was lacking there for me. I mean, I wanted to do something that was more sound related, and I really like trivia night. And I'm sure that at some point in my head, I was out at some trivia night somewhere, watching Jeopardy or something like that, and it just clicked. I'm like, hey, I could do this. What if I were to get some fun audio clips and some good music and use some of the sound effects that I have and some that I purchased later on? What if I put all this together? Could I make that fun? And could I try to turn it into a business model? The first thing, yes, I can do it. Business model, still kind of working on, kind of.
Right.
But you've got mugs.
Exactly. You're official now.
Yes.
If you'd like to buy a T-shirt, I have a place you can go.
Plug away, my friend. Plug away.
Yes. I even have ties.
You do?
Okay, I've got 3 ties, but I have. There was a sale, and I figured I'd get one for my dad for a Father's Day. I'm like, oh, hey, I could get some of those too. Sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we like the phone too. So how long have you been doing this for? When was the premiere of this amazing podcast?
We're coming up on a year. I think I started last October because I really like Halloween and I wanted to hit Halloween, and I started off with Night of the Living Dead. And it was much harder for me to find stuff that I still find interesting, because I can find all kinds of information out there, but if
sure,
boring, like why bother? So sometimes it is harder to find, even though I'm really only doing like 5 questions, it's hard to find 5 questions that, this last episode was on Batman. To find 5 questions on Batman that, even anybody who doesn't know anything about Batman will know. Like, well, those are boring.
Right.
I need to find the interest in all of it.
This week's questions were definitely like, I think I know the answer to that one.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one of the things I really want to go for is I want those questions that, I think I know the answer, but you won't know unless you've done a whole bunch of research or you really love the topic.
Yeah.
Really.
What occurred to you would be a benefit from sponsoring us? Because I have to thank you again for joining in. About halfway through our run so far and supporting the show. Everybody appreciates it heavily, very much. And what occurred to you would be a benefit in sponsoring us? And have you seen some of that coming back to you?
I was looking for more listeners, and you guys. You guys give me a service that I like. I mean, I don't get to watch every week.
Mm-hmm.
Just my TiVo, I don't get to watch it every week.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do. But yeah, you guys give me information that's relevant to me, just like last week. Oh, I'm really looking forward to looking more in depth at that Studio Bricks thing.
Isn't everybody?
Man.
That was the talk of the town this week.
Hey, they deserve it. That's a hell of a product.
You should mention that every week, and then everyone will be watching you.
Well, yeah.
But as Dan and I have talked about, I have a little studio issue to stage left, right? I need to work on at some point in time. So yeah, you guys give me a service that I appreciate, that I was willing to give you some money for, and you gave me an opportunity to stretch my video editing chops a little bit.
That's great.
Oh, we love the ad.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice job.
look, it's. I know what those are like. Doing the tip of the week is like that. You're always trying to find the right piece that goes with that to make it something look interesting and to show a point. So I really respect that. That's all, and those are a lot of fun to do. I mean, it's fun to make commercials. And it's fun to be a voice actor. But when you can combine it with video and be very visual at the same time, it's very, very creative and very rewarding.
Yes, very rewarding.
Well, speaking of voiceover in your studio, so you're not actually in your studio, you're just in the outer office area?
Not. This is the place where the magic happens, as far as editing.
Right.
That would explain the twinkling, I suppose.
Over there is where the heavy lifting happens.
Well, I was going to say that the sound that you're giving us off that microphone, and I don't
sounds
know if you're
great.
doing any processing, but acoustically, that room sounds really good.
Well, it sounds good now. But if I put on better headphones and I get a clean recording, not like through Skype and then through Ustream, they will solve a lot of your problems. But this isn't really broadcast recording quality stuff. Once I put on the master headphones, then stuff sounds kind of not so good. If you're standing out here,
right. Well, I mean,
inside the blanketed fortress that I have.
Well, I mean, what you're sending us over Skype is pretty darn good. I mean, it's better than probably 75% of what I hear.
Well, I don't like to brag.
Yeah. So what's your chain? We know you've got the Aventone there. Or it's a Campbell soup can with a mic hanging from it.
Yes, with a very lovely Campbell soup can. This is the Aventone BV1, which has its own proprietary plug right up here at the top, if you can see that.
Yes.
Which is kind of a pain, because if this mic cord ever goes bad, I don't know where I would get another one outside of China.
Yeah.
But it goes down this way. I've got this on an ultimate something boom arm that actually has wheels on it, so I just wheeled it out of my Kryptonian fortress there and here. I've got it going into the Mic Port Pro, and then right up in there to my iMac.
So there you go. It's a tube mic. So the Mic Port Pro is plugged into the power supply, right? And
the Mic Port Pro is actually power. It's got USB power.
Right, but it's plugged. That microphone has a power supply.
Oh yeah, it does. Over in the Krypton.
Right, exactly.
It's got a fairly hefty power supply.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see it, but right up in the corner there, that case, you can probably see just the edge of it.
Yeah.
That's actually the suitcase that the whole microphone and power supply came in.
Yeah, it comes in like a tweed-looking, vintage-looking suitcase.
I look like a 1930s gangster if I take that anywhere.
Well, Aventone is still one of the outliers of the business. They are mostly manufactured in China, but their company headquarters are actually right here in the Southern California area. They're right outside of LA. And I know somebody that did some work over there.
So Mike give me another one?
Yeah, unfortunately, the guy I know that worked there has now passed. So I lost my connection over there. But they're a good company. So if you ever did need one of those cables, they would be the ones to call, and they will not gouge you for the cable like some others might.
Excellent.
They want you to use their mics.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And are you using preamp?
No. That's
good.
All. You and I actually at FAFCon 2, Electric Boogaloo, we had a conversation about that where I was super jazzed to get a preamp and I wanted to do stuff, and you verbally kept smacking my hand. Yes. I gave up on that finally.
Well, good. I'm telling you, like I said, I'm hearing it over Skype, but I hear you all the time on the show. And is this the signal chain you use? I mean, on your Pop Quizzical show, is this the signal chain you're using? Sounds fantastic.
I do. Let me recant what I said earlier. I understand that I shouldn't have a preamp now.
You can have a preamp. It's not a sin. It works fine, but
much easier now. I mean, just this easy signal chain.
Yeah.
People of Earth, if you are thinking about a preamp, please, for the love of dear sweet in the manger baby Jesus, about not getting one.
You don't need some esoteric, especially tube preamp. You really don't. Somebody asked what kind of blankets you're using. We want to know everything, man.
Well, on the bottom, you know what? Hang on.
Turn the computer.
Whoa!
Whoa! There you go.
Oh, that's a thing of beauty over there.
Oh, there we go.
It only has to sound good, folks.
Remember. Oh, it's a carnival tent.
On the top, you'll see the blue. Those are actually moving blankets that I got from like Lowe's, Home Depot, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom ones are cheap IKEA blankets that really didn't do the job, but they allow me to pass cables through if I need them.
Right.
Do you have to like weave your IKEA blankets yourself? They just give you the yarn, or
There's some assembly required. There's a little wrench. And a guy going,
And then what's your software of choice? Do you use the same software for your regular day-to-day VO as you use for producing the show?
I do. And I will say it's not 100% what I want.
Okay.
I use GarageBand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can help you with that. We need to talk. We need to talk, Bob.
Well, I might or might not actually own a GarageBand something or other, little cast that Dan Leonard might have made.
Oh, really?
And there are just some limitations that I have with it. I would love to be able to scrub my tracks to listen back and forth, but that's just something that GarageBand won't do.
That's right. What GarageBand does for the price is unbelievable.
Well, for the price of, I've already bought my Mac and it's free.
Exactly. It's really remarkable software. I mean, it's incredibly powerful. It lets you produce the show you're doing. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of editing, that's where it falls down. It's not a great editor.
That's why we like Twisted Wave.
Yeah.
It does what I need it to do. And I've tried another one. Oh, I've forgotten the name of it. It's like $70.
Another Mac app like Sound Studio or something like that.
Not necessarily just a Mac app, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
And if I think it starts with an R. I think
Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
I tried that briefly, but there's a bigger learning curve than I have time to invest in.
Right.
So I gave up on it.
Reaper is very powerful software. I mean, it gets into the Pro Tools range of complexity. And for its price, it's really powerful. But yeah, it's kind of overkill for most anybody in this business.
Yeah.
For what I do, it would be nice to be able to have more control over editing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you listen to the show, which I listen to them every week, if you listen, you'll hear music start and stop, and sometimes you'll hear stuff fade out or fade out even faster than it should, or even just lining up that bell at the very end of the show.
Right.
It's all super minute, and I would like to have more control than what GarageBand gives me.
Right.
Not a problem. We can show you how to do that.
Yeah, you might even want to use Audition.
Adobe Audition, which is what I use, allows you to do anything and hear it as you're doing it and stuff. So
super powerful.
I'm interested. I'm
good,
but still interested.
Especially since you are doing basically what amounts to radio production. So you have sound element, all these elements. You're moving them around, adjusting the length, positioning. That is what Adobe Audition was built on from the day one, because it was built off of, basically adopted from Cool Edit, which was like the software that all the radio guys were using back in the 90s and before that Saw. But so when Adobe bought Cool Edit and called it Audition, that's why that software works so well for that kind of that's why it's the right tool for the job. It really does a good job with that kind of stuff.
I miss queuing records. Hold the record down. All right. Yeah. Those are the fun days with razor tape, with the razor blade and tape and stuff like that. So anyway,
exactly. Radio was my first bad girlfriend. I really think that radio production was the girlfriend that I never went after hard enough.
Oh,
it was the one I really loved.
Oh, I had a long relationship with that. It was a lot of fun. Because that's why I got into radio. That was why I did it. So,
and even though I may seem younger than you, I actually started off splicing tape. I know what it's like to splice tape, and I think that anyone who hasn't done, really that analog digital production like that, you lose something in knowing what a 45-degree cut versus a 90-degree sounds like.
Yeah, but you can do that. You can do that with a pencil now, or just a cursor on there to do those types of cuts and stuff like that. It's amazing what you can do with the software.
Totally.
Yeah. Why don't we do a little bit more quiz here?
Oh yes, please.
Yes, because I know you've got some other topics that we want to cover, and I'm up by 2 on George here. So
okay, quiz junkies. So we'll just go to random categories now. So let's talk a little bit about space.
Space, the final frontier.
So, and I may pronounce this wrong, but I will definitely spell it for you. Chizalub. I'll spell that for you.
Okay.
It's CHICXALUB.
Okay.
Go with Chizalub.
Isn't that a place in Mexico?
Many scientists believe that this led to the distinction or the extinction. See, I would fix that in post. Led to the extinction of the dinosaurs. Chizalub is what? We'll make this a fill in the blank. Okay, so that's our space question. Let's go on to alcoholism. So question 2.
Let's moving on.
Moving on to something that's much more interesting. The House of Mumm is a world-renowned French champagne. However, little known secret about this, the guys who started it are brothers from what country? Are they from A, Portugal? Are they from B, Germany? Or are they from C, Austria?
Oh, that's a trick
question.
Who
started House of Mumm.
Oh.
Are they Portuguese, German, or Austrian? Question 3. I like Germany. Let's talk about Germany.
Okay.
I thought that was question 2. Oh, now we're all moving on to question 3.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I got lost.
Let me know if I'm going too fast for you.
Carry on. You're doing good.
Question 3. There was an encryption device that was the backbone of the German military, but it had some problems. What was that device? Was it A?
No, I don't even have to tell. I know what that is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Was it A, Manifesto? Was it B, Little Eva? Or was it C, Enigma? So Manifesto, Little Eva, or the last one. That's the answer.
That's an easy one.
I know.
I'll still get it wrong.
Oh, excellent. In that case, it's A. So we'll take those 3.
Okay.
I've got plenty more if we need them.
Okay.
So, question 1. Chizalub. Sounds delicious.
It does.
Now, scientists believe that this caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. What is Chizalub? Dan.
It would be easy to say an asteroid.
I'm gonna have to say it is a very drastic drop in temperature of the Earth's overall climate.
Well, one of you is right, and that would be Dan Leonard. Chizalub is indeed an asteroid.
Well done, my friend.
I warned you.
And it's not actually Chizalub. I apologize.
It's not.
Somebody look that up for us.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody get me a pronunciation. Barbara, get me a pronunciation on Chizalub. And I will tell you that there is a lot of editing when I do pop quizicals, because there are times, I've got a script. I've got the Spider-Man script right here. But I don't always stick to the script, because sometimes I've had way too much coffee, and I just feel that, I could just put more life into this. And boy, sometimes I put a lot of life into it, and I need to cut that out. So let me tell you, you should appreciate the cuts that I make. So where were we? Question 2. The House of Mumm.
Mumm.
Has anybody had Mumm, the House of
many times.
Oh, just this afternoon. Buffy, bring me another flute. So the two guys that started the House of Mum Winery, were they A, Portuguese, B, German, or were they C, Austrian?
Austrian.
I was going to say Austrian, too.
Oh, see, the next question really should have keyed you in. They are B, German.
Ah.
Yeah.
Jawohl.
I was going German, but I figured German, Austrian, they're the same thing. 50-50.
So I guess you guys are just beer drinkers, whatever.
Yeah. Ireland, Scotland, what's the difference?
Iceberg, Goldberg.
They're both in the water. Barbara, bring me my flute. Question 3. The encryption device that the Germans used during World War II. Was it A, the Manifesto? Was it B, Little Eva? Or was it C, Enigma?
Enigma.
I knew before you said it was Enigma.
Are you both sure? Okay, fine, you're sure.
Final answer.
C, Enigma.
Dan, you beat me.
See, I warned George ahead of time if we were going to do this. I was the captain of my college bowl team.
Yes, he was.
So when it comes to my wife and kids are like, would you go on Jeopardy already? Like, yeah, well, I mean, for like the last 10 years, they've been after me to be on Jeopardy. So
you got to get on there soon.
I guess so.
They're going to be gone, and they're going to replace him with
a robot.
Yes,
with Enigma. With Zeppelin.
Exactly, with Zeppelin.
Let me tell you, that guy upstages me every week, and he only says the same thing.
Exactly.
I miss Art Fleming. Now, maybe some of you are old enough to remember Art Fleming as the host of Jeopardy back when it was on in the afternoon, and back when there was 2 or 3 channels you could watch.
Right.
And my mom and I would I would come home for lunch from school and we would watch Jeopardy, and I learned so much from my mom.
She's a smarty pants.
Yeah, my mom's a smart lady.
She is.
Does she like the House of Mum?
I think she's probably sampled it once or twice.
Exactly.
Dan, bring mommy another flute.
Oh man, thanks for joining us. We had a lot of fun with this show.
I'm glad to stop by.
Thank you.
And perhaps Studio Bricks can solve my my Kryptonian problem over there. That's
man,
awful.
You never know. Somebody bought one this last week. Mike Bratton bought one when he heard that there was a special deal for the first U.S.-based buyer, 30% off the retail price of the booth, and that's pretty slamming deal.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him on and have him give us a review.
Absolutely, I'm very curious.
I'd heard that.
Absolutely, we'll have him shoot in. Maybe we'll have him send some video to us.
I want video of assembly.
I want to see the whole
thing. I want video of use. Basically, I just want studio porn. That's all I want.
Studio porn. That's what we do. Well, you know what?
All you got to do is just track around with a video camera and just ooft, 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 ooft.
No, he owes it. He owes it to all of us for getting such a killer deal, and because of our tight voiceover community here, he got that thing a smashing deal, and but he's also taking a chance and getting something new that only one other U.S. based studio has apparently. So I hope it works out for him.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thanks so much for being with us. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for having me. Before I go,
yes,
you can go ahead and start my outro.
You got it.
Let me tell you that I'm available on popquizzical.com. We have daily quizzes, kind of like the one you took. Every other week, we have a full episode. You can go to bit.ly/popquizzical. That'll take you right to iTunes, where you can find a show just like the one you heard. So, if you like what you heard, we even had Batman this past week. Go listen.
I love it.
So there's that. Now, Zeppelin, tell these nice people where to go.
This has been Pop Quizzical. The quiz master, Bob Ball, and I will be back in 2 weeks. Until then, sharpen those pencils and keep your eyes on your own paper. Class dismissed.
Well done.
All right.
That was a fun segment.
It was. All righty. Well, we've got a little bit more
like
coming up.
living the elevator.
That's right. Well, we got a lot more coming up here on East West Audio Body Shop. You thought we were done? Not yet. We still have the letter of the week, and we still have, well, we've got a couple other things we got to talk about, and so we'll be right back. So you stay right where you are. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, my name is Bob Ball. I'm a voice actor and host of Pop Quizzical. Sure. I hear you thinking, Bob, what is this Pop Quizzical you speak of? Well, I'll tell you. It's a fun and funny, single-themed 10 to 15-minute audio quiz. It comes out every other week right here on the internets. You know, that thing that just about everything cool flows from, pictures of cats, videos of dogs, and yes, Pop Quizzical. It's available on iTunes and wherever fine podcasts are sold. And it's easily found, too. Go to bit.ly/popquizzical. There's also a companion website at popquizzical.com with daily quiz questions, and every Friday over on the Pop Quizzical Facebook page, it's a freebie Friday. Free stuff throughout the day. From The Muppet Show to James Bond to St. Patrick's Day, the Pop Quizzical podcast has a little bit of everything for you. Challenge your mind and your funny bone with Pop Quizzical.
Class dismissed.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Now back to Dan and George.
All right, we're back here on East West Audio Body Shop, and thanks again to Bob Ball for joining us here on the show. And you probably wonder, when you work in an attic where it's 130,000 degrees. I mean, it's in Kelvin. It was that hot up there. And it's dusty, and there's all sorts of garbage up there. And I was wearing a new pair of shorts, and Marcy's like, "What are you wearing those new pairs of shorts? You're crawling around in the attic, and you're wearing those new shorts? Oh, God." But it's sterile up there. It's like an autoclave. I mean, it's 150 degrees, and
right, nothing lives up there.
Nothing lives up there. Anything that was up there is been dead for the last 10 years. I'm seeing skeletons of wasps that died when Jimmy Carter was president. But it was there's a little bit of dust up there, but it was hot, and and in order to protect myself, to be up there for long periods of time while I'm cutting holes in the ceiling and dragging stuff around and doing wiring, I decided to wear a mask, and it helped a lot. So in case you have to do any work in the attic, and so far I've done all of this myself. I've not brought in a contractor. I've called you a couple of times, but other than that,
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So building a studio can be lots of fun, and it helps if you actually know what you're doing and what you're trying to listen for. But if you want to buy equipment, like that stuff. If you want to buy this thing.
I didn't mean for that to pop in front of your face, but it just did. So.
Get that thing out of there. What is this?
Go ahead.
Yes. Actually, that's very similar to what I'm using.
No, that's what I was going to mention it, but I didn't mean to blast in front of your face like that. Sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. All right. Whatever. No, but because next week we're going to talk about the ventilation system, and the ventilation system is, it's a sort of a tricky thing, but you got to have it, because otherwise you'll smother yourself.
That's right.
And I don't want that. But we'll talk all about that next week. So if you're interested, which of course you're all fascinated with, you'll join us next week for tip of the week, and we'll talk about that. But if you need good equipment, segue, the best place to go is to voiceoveressentials.com. Our buddy Harlan Hogan has a great website, all the best stuff, great microphone, the VO1A. He's even got this thing.
Yeah, this is the little remote control for turning on your on the air sign. A little voiceover recording sign that he's selling, which is a really neat little thing. I got one myself here. And the remote control is the key to controlling noisy stuff in the house that you need to have control over when you're in the booth. And Dan, you're using something like that to control your ventilation, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I've got a little, just one like this, a little radio remote control. It'll turn it on and off. And, it should work pretty well. I think it's going to be a matter of finding the right fan for it and stuff like that. But once we get it right, it's going to be just dandy. But you can use that for that. But of course, you can use it for the sign.
That's right.
The sign's the best part.
Exactly.
Because now that I'm going to be moving out of the basement, I'm going to be able to hang that on a door and close the door. And then people will know not to go in my office, because normally they just walk down here and they look in the window, and if they see me just sitting here, they're like, "Hey, Dad, what's going? Whoa, I'm doing something here," because I don't record in one position. So, but anyway, so a sign like that's an important thing to have. And where do you get a sign like that? You get it from voiceoveressentials.com.
That's right.
There they are right there. So, get that. He's got a lot of other cute stuff too. I mean, aside from the great equipment like the VO1A and the porta booths, which are work great when you're on the road, and some of the other things, even the rack that you can put that on.
That's right.
The sign is a great thing to have.
Exactly. It's almost worth putting it in your bag when you travel and hanging it up in the hallway when you're working in a hotel.
How long do you think that thing's going to stay there if you
I don't
leave
know.
on the door?
But it'd be fun to try it, though, wouldn't it?
I suppose.
That would be something I would try.
That would, which is why you're not a voice actor.
Exactly.
But you could always get, do not disturb one. Maybe Harlan will come up with that.
The nice thing about that sign is it seems, like I said, I have it. It seems like it's built to last. It's not very fragile feeling, and it feels like you could actually throw that thing in your suitcase if you really wanted to.
Well, it's flat. And it's made of nice plastic and the little red light bulb. You can't beat that. That's a great thing to have.
It's fun.
So go on over to voiceoveressentials.com and get your sign.
Get your sign on.
It's a sign.
Thank you, Harlan.
Thank you, Harlan, very much for helping us out here at East West Audio Body Shop and letting the party continue.
That's right.
Anyway, so what else do we got going on right now? Well, do we have our letter of the week?
We do. I actually got an email that I thought we would share with everybody today.
Okay.
Let me just grab it out of the inbox here. And here it is. This is the one. Oh, that's the one that we answered last week. Shelley responded to our, she actually got, here you go. Let's just do a little follow-up from last week since I'm looking at it.
All right.
She asked us, which iPad would you recommend getting?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I got the iPad yesterday. I'm working on loading it up today. She's really excited, and she appreciates the help. So hopefully Shelley Baldago will follow up with us and let us know how her iPad selection works out.
Yeah, well, iPad's iPad. Of course, now I'm thinking it's time to get a new computer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've had this iMac that I am now communicating to all of you on right now at this very moment. Bought this in 2007. And it's still working. So in case you want to get into a PC Mac argument, it still works, and it still works great. So
well, awesome.
But I want to get an SSD. So
got to.
Yeah, so I'm going to get a Mac Mini with an SSD, and because I'm getting a new office, I'm going to get a new computer.
It's worth it. It's so worth it. I put one in Joe Cipriano's computer, and it was just like taking a 6-7-year-old slowly dying feeling computer that was just getting worse and worse. And it was like it's like bolting a supercharger onto your engine, It's just like, whoa! I mean, it really makes all the difference in the world. So worth it. So worth it.
Absolutely.
The question of the week.
Yes.
Where is the question of the week? Oh. We don't have a question of the week.
We don't? All right, sir. All right, somebody ask us. You in the chat room, ask us a question. Anything.
A question of the week.
Chicxulub.
I don't have a good one.
It's an asteroid.
I don't have a good one. But I do have an audio sample, so let's do that.
All right, let's go with the audio sample.
All right, I think I might have already given away who this is. But if I haven't, here it is. Here's the audio sample week. First, I'll just play it for you so you can hear the kind of voice. Then I'll explain to you what you're actually hearing. So here it is.
Poop and whatever else the hell she said, and she had a crazy laugh. Like that.
Yeah, like today I had something for Audi when I was like, Audi is the kind of car where you just want to be able to say it's the trendiest thing ever, except without being trendy at all. It's really the car for the modern woman. You know what I mean? She was like that kind of lady.
Poop and whatever else the hell she said, and she had a crazy laugh.
Lori Allen Graham.
Still alive. And you're still fat.
Run for your lives! I don't want to lose my protective layer.
I'm not dying on an empty stomach. It's taken too long. I'm grabbing a snack.
Anyway, that's kind of the stuff that Lori Allen does. She's really hilarious. Anyway,
yeah,
you're hearing kind of a variety of acoustics and things like that. Well, that was because she's just moved. She doesn't have a studio right now, and she's literally just trying to make every audition she can. And all she's using right now is an Apogee 1, just the one. It's the mic built into the Apogee 1. That's it. And, that was all completely raw. I didn't do any post on that at all. I didn't do any noise gating. There's Dan's. I didn't do anything to it. That was just the one straight into the Mac. And
she did that straight into the mic on the one.
That was the mic on the one, because she has a 416, but she doesn't have it rigged up right now because she doesn't have anywhere to put it. She's like, literally, life is in turmoil. She sold a house, moved into an apartment, then bought a house in about a period of 6 months. And so she doesn't have a place to work right now. So, but she has to get those auditions coming in, and that's what she's using. And after those sessions where she sent me those files, I helped her tweak the levels a little bit. I showed her 2 settings, one for doing the animation stuff, because you could hear it was getting a little on the edge. It was clipping a little bit.
Right.
And then the more commercial style reads. And we found there was about a 15 dB difference between the two. So for the loud stuff, we put it at 15 dB gain, and for the quiet stuff we put it at 30 dB, and it worked pretty nicely.
Yeah, the Apogee 1's actually a great little unit. I mean, I've had that almost as long as I've had this iMac, so, and it's been absolutely trouble free. But it's really cool that it's got that little condenser mic in there. And having talked to the guys at Apogee who were like at the booth next to us at Voice 2012, we hung out with them an awful lot this time, and it was they put an awful lot of time and research into those devices. And the one is interesting, and that one little mic is really kind of cool. You have to get you have to use a lot of proximity on it. You got to get fairly close to it.
There's definitely for both mics, the one in the one itself and then the Apogee mic. They both have, some technique to get the best quality out of it. I mean, that's true for any mic.
And very different. Both mics are, the one is very different from the one.
Yeah.
We thought that it was just, they took a one and they threw a better capsule on it. No, they just totally redid it. It was a whole new deal.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it just goes to show you, if you want to have that one thing to throw in your bag when you're traveling, just to squeeze off something, acoustics is most of the issue you're dealing with. Soundproofing and acoustics. And if you can get a quiet enough room or a closet or something, you can make almost anything that was designed properly work. So that's just sort of a proof of concept.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about going to do it for this week. It's getting late.
It sure is.
It does. Now, next week, we have Michael Deming coming on.
Michael Deming is coming on the following week, August 5th.
So what are we doing next week?
So next week we're going to do the Google Hangout show.
Oh, yes! Everybody can play.
Yeah, exactly. So stay tuned. The best way to find out how to join the Google Hangout is I will post information in the Facebook group. But if you're not on Google Plus already, you should be. Because if you're not on Google Plus, you're missing out on a little slice of the social networking pie.
Tell me about it.
A slice that's getting bigger and bigger, actually, I'm finding. In fact, actually, I find Google Plus to be just the level of discourse in general seems to be a little bit higher than what I see on Facebook. But, as more people join in, it'll kind of level out.
Yeah.
But I really like, it feels, Google Plus to me feels like sort of like the classy version of Facebook. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but to me, that's what it kind of feels like.
I got to use it more.
But they have this thing called the Hangout. And if you've seen a couple of the shows where Dan has been on vacation or something, or he's been in the middle of driving, I'll just jump on the Hangout and do a show there. And if you go onto our website and just type in Hangout, you'll find it in the show notes. And it's pretty cool because we can have up to 10 people interacting at the same time. So in this case, it would be me, Dan, and then 8 of you. And so we'll let you know how to do it and what happens. And if you don't get into, if you're not one of the 8 people that's actually chatting with us, then you'll see it sort of like a live broadcast of the show on YouTube. It actually is broadcasting on YouTube live. And then after the show, it's already on YouTube waiting for you. So that should be a lot of fun. We're not gonna have any specific topics. We're just gonna see what you guys want to talk about. It's gonna be a lot less formal. Less formal than this, you're saying? Yes, less formal than this. and it should be a lot of fun just to see what happens.
Absolutely. And then Michael Deming will be on the week after that.
Yes, he will.
And then on August 12th, my otolaryngologist, Joel Bernstein, will be on. And he actually called me tonight. He says, Dan, I have an idea. This guy's great. You think, Dan's bringing on a doctor. You'll love this guy.
Awesome.
Guy saved my life, and he's a great doctor. So,
and even going out 1 week later because we have the lovely Catherine who's helping us line people up, which is so awesome. Thank you, Catherine.
Yes.
It looks like we've got Ellie Ray Hennessy.
Ellie Ray Hennessy is going to be joining us. So, yes.
I'm thrilled.
That's right. So, anyway.
She's a bowl of lightning.
She is, and she has a beautiful garden too. If you go on Facebook and see, she's modeling our shirts. By the way, go over to the East West Audio Body Shop. Buy those T-shirts. She was saying, if you wear a medium, buy the large.
Yeah, they run a little.
You ladies, they run a little small. Anyway, but get your laptop cover and your iPad cover and your mouse pad, and of course your coffee mug,
your travel mug.
What's the address there again, George?
Shop.ewabs.com, and you can't miss the link on the upper right-hand corner of our website, ewabs.com.
All righty. Well, you guys have yourselves a wonderful week. This has been a beautiful summer so far. If you don't like, if you hate rain, but it's
been dry here too.
Yeah. I think it's been a nice summer. It's been beautiful here in Buffalo. Everybody have a wonderful week. Get lots of work, audition. You have a problem, give George or I a call or email, and we'll be happy to help you out. In the meantime, I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East West Audio Body Shop. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Break a leg.